Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Unyime Serial. Alright, so we started a journey to the phobia land. A journey to the phobia land is a journey where we are going to be exposing us to the different phobias we have, the symptoms, the causes, the risk, and then possible ways of managing these phobias. So in case you missed our last video, kindly click the link on our description below and go check out the video. All right, so we talked about agoraphobia on our last video, and we said that agoraphobia is fear of crowd. Agoraphobia, fear of crowd. Don't worry, you're going to get used to these names eventually. Names of these phobias, I mean, they can sound like some tongue twisters, but we'll get through eventually. So we said that agoraphobia is a phobia, is a fear. Phobia is fear. All right, agoraphobia is fear of crowds. So if you feel uncomfortable being around rowdy areas, that means you have agoraphobia. So if I were you, I would just go click on the link on the description below and then check out what agoraphobia is. Okay, so let's get to the business of the day. Who is excited? All right, so today we will be talking on a different phobia entirely. This might sound very funny, but then people have this phobia. I know of someone that has this phobia. And the phobia is alektorophobia. Alektorophobia is fear of chickens. Yes, funny. I know we all love chickens, we all love to chew them, I mean, as meat, but there are people that are literally very scared of chicken. So, alektorophobia is fear of chicken. So, what is this alektorophobia? I've already given you a glimpse of what it is. I would just like to define more, just so you have a bigger or a broader understanding on what we are talking about. So alektorophobia is a rare condition that is actually characterized by an intense fear for chickens. So the word comes from the Greek word alektor. Alektor means rooster, and then phobos means fear or horror. So there are people that are very scared of chickens, and then it is considered a specific phobia. So this refers to actually an irrational fear of a specific object or situation. That is phobia now generally. And then today we are talking about alektorophobia, which I said that it is a fear of chicken. So the symptoms of this very phobia is it varies from person to person anyways, and then in some people a phobia may cause a mild fear or discomfort, so they don't feel comfortable around chickens or any live animals, but specifically chickens. And then for others it can involve debilitating panic attack. I'm not kidding you, like they can freak out so badly just at the sight of seeing chickens. But depending on where you live or work, alektorophobia can actually impact your daily life and cause significant distress, which can limit you from achieving your dreams, achieving your goals. That's why I said that before we hit the nail on the head, we should first of all look through ourselves, get to know these fears, treat them before we set on a journey to self-discovery. All right, so alektorophobia, they have symptoms too, just like agoraphobia does. Alektorophobia, for these symptoms, is actually severe anxiety, and usually most of the symptoms have similarities. Most of the phobias, they have similar symptoms, like the sweating, because alektorophobia also has symptoms of sweating. You're going to be sweating excessively. Actually, usually when you have anxiety, you are going to sweat. You perspire when you have anxiety. And then it comes also with difficulty in breathing, and then you could be shaky or trembling when at the sight of these chickens. Those are actually most of the symptoms of agoraphobia. Okay, I hope we are together. So let's move ahead. So what are the causes of this agoraphobia? We might just like to see. Although doctors have not really they've not really identified the exact cause or the specific causes of this phobia, but in many people with specific phobias can't really recall how and when this was actually developed. So however, the list of these things I'm going to be mentioning to you can actually help you to diagnose your phobia and how it all started. Negative experiences, number one. Negative experiences, maybe when you were a child, and then eventually you know, all these chickens, like the hen that has baby, like that have chicks around, and you try playing with it, and eventually the hen ran after you and you got scared, and then the scenario was very not nice, do you get? And you started developing this fear over time. So when you see chickens, you get scared, and you might just think it's very normal until you grow up to discover that the fear gets overwhelming. That way you don't even want to sit anywhere close or even sight chickens around you. So how do we diagnose this thing? So to make a formal diagnosis, your doctor may use the new edition of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. It is very important. So you have to actually have a doctor to report these things so that can help you out eventually. But like I said before, it is a mind thing. It is a mind thing. Have that in mind. So how do we treat alektorophobia? We can treat alektorophobia, specific phobias. It involves combination of treatment options. Actually, first, I said something on our last video about exposure therapy. Now this exposure therapy is leading treatment option for specific phobias. All right, the goal is to desensitize yourself from these fears. So for alektorophobia, exposure therapy will help you to desensitize yourself from chickens. All right, so you walk gradually, introduce chickens into your life. That sounds funny, but I mean, you're trying to help yourself, so you would have to do what you need to do to get yourself better and come out of that shell, because you have a journey, so you need to hit the road as fast as possible. You don't need to let these phobias weigh you down. Okay, so you work gradually on introducing yourself to these chickens. Introduce these chickens to your life by first thinking about them. So you can reduce the fear by thinking about them, looking at pictures, you can be watching videos, you know, and virtual reality technology is becoming an increasing popular tool to exposure therapy as well. So this virtual reality technology, where you play as a game, is actually a tool that has been developed over time to help people deal with their phobias. Okay, so you see people screaming while playing that game. That is you facing your fears eyeball to eyeball. All right, let's check on the medication of alektorophobia. Specific phobias really require long-term medication, unless they are actually accompanied by disorders. We are going to be talking about disorders subsequently, but for now we are dealing with phobia, so I wouldn't like to digress for now, but just bear in mind that later on we might just have to be discussing about different disorders and how to also deal with them, so such as generalized anxiety or depression. So medication may also be helpful for people who have difficulty with exposure therapy. So we also have some medications which might be preferably administered to you by your doctor. So I wouldn't want to call those names, but it's best you expose yourself to these fears first of all. Okay, tell yourself it is a mind thing. I'm not gonna die, nothing is going to happen to me, it is just a fear. All right, remember we said something that most times it is not even the actual thing that gets you scared, It is the imagination, the anticipation that this thing is going to take place can weigh you down. It can demoralize you psychologically, and that is not good for you, because as little as we see phobias, it can restrict you from networking. It can restrict you from achieving your purpose. It can restrict you from achieving your goal. Just take your mind back to our last video where we talked about agoraphobia. I mean, just imagine someone having to stay indoors because he doesn't want to go to a crowded environment. I mean, how do you even cope in this rowdy world like this? You have to either enter a car, enter a plane, a bus. You just meet people. Even in our different religious centers, there are different human beings there. So if you let this fear weigh you down, eventually you might not like what will happen to you. And that is why I'm here to remind you of all these phobias and how to take care of them. First treatment before any other therapy is what? Tell yourself it is a mind thing. Once that happens, you'll be able to deal with it one after the other. Alright, that's all I'll be sharing with you today on Alektorophobia. I hope you find this video useful. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and then enable the bell icon to get more notifications on our next video as we journey to the phobia land together. Until I see you on my next video, I'm still Cyril, your humble girl. Take care, be safe, bye bye.